It's time.
Timeline is shifting.
Yeah.
Different timeline.
We're Genghis Khan.
Yes.
Because I love talking about Genghis.
Yes.
Now, what do you think is the coolest thing about Genghis Khan's everything?
Specifically, the combat skills of the horse archers.
Exactly. I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah.
The horse archers, okay? Now, we know horse archers don't work basically everywhere but where they were.
Comanche and the Huns.
Comanche and the Mongolians.
Yes.
The Huns, they had horse archers too.
Perfected it, I guess.
Yeah, they made it better. But it was, they don't work everywhere because horses are big and you need a lot of food to feed them.
Yes.
And a lot of water. But the Mongols, they had plains. It was steppes?
Yeah, the Mongolian steppe.
And there was a big river that they had a bunch of water. They were producing enough food.
The original evolutionary point of the horse.
Yes.
They were mountain horses. They were mountainous. Think of a donkey, like a Skyrim horse, if you know what that looks like.
Yeah.
And they were tamed, I want to say 7,000 years ago by the Mongolians.
I think so.
Yeah, they were the original horse riders, so they were really good at it. And then the Comanche in America, European horses were brought over, and then they were wild, and then the Comanche just learned how to tame them after they came over, and they got really good at it on their own, because I guess they're just great at that.
By the way, when we say politics, we just mean general wars.
I like to think of it as
history.
Evolutionary history. In
Yeah,
a certain
it's
sense.
sort of borders changing, anything that affects this. When we say politics, I mean all the states throughout all of history and time can be mentioned here.
Yes.
Because they existed in the realm of politics.
Yeah.
Be it as primitive and brutal as it was.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite ancient peoples?
Oh man, it's got to be England. Not even ancient.
Yes.
England is my favorite ever.
They are the best, actually.
Just
Okay.
because they perfected everything.
Yeah.
The Navy play was so beautiful. Just having the most ships, colonizing everywhere, bad ethics, terrible morality.
Oh, they were horrible people.
They were horrible people.
Yeah.
But also think of the production and the money.
The East India Trading Company was sick.
The East India Trading Company. They had, I think they had up to it was maybe 600 ships, but it could have even been 1,000. I might be getting these mixed up.
They had a fuckload. I think 1,000 was the Royal Navy. I think it was 200 for the East India Trading Company, if I remember. Britain was fucking sick. They were terrible people. They did a lot of really horrible things. But they had a really unique culture. If you can step outside of whatever feelings you may have, you can look at the culture. It's very interesting. You can look at their tactics, and anyone can admit they dominated, mostly due to luck and geography. They lived on an island, and they just happened to have access to lots of domesticated little animals from Europe and lots of civilization. They stole from Rome, who stole from the Greeks, who stole from someone else, surely.
Yeah. But if you're talking, honestly, most of the Middle Ages people, they are a little lame. And they were cool for the time.
Middle Ages Europe, you mean?
Yeah. Just because caveman, I find way more interesting. Tribal life,
Yes, I
find
agree with that
extremely
statement.
interesting.
Yes.
Because it's kind of the origins of humanity, how we got out of the forest.
The first to domesticate dogs and do all that shit.
Yeah, that stuff's very, evolutionary impactful.
Yeah.
Whereas most of the Middle Ages was just slowly figuring out how metal works exactly.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
And, oppressing people with
Oppressing
capitalism.
people with capitalism, because it worked so good.
Yeah.
And before capitalism was capitalism,
yeah.
it's, what is it, imperialism?
Dictatorships,
dictatorship,
really,
monarchies, oligarchies, just generally taxing the shit out of the people and taking most of the resources for yourself.
And I think capitalism, because it's not a regulated market, usually.
Yeah, it's I think it's technically regulated by the government.
Yeah, well, the
But the
British,
government
the
is one
Romans
person.
had a regulated market, the Greeks had a regulated market,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
everywhere else didn't,
Yeah.
And it
Maybe.
wasn't as regulated as it is now. So what's your favorite like older than that peoples. And you remember there's the Maori, there's like the fucking Neanderthals, you could go all the way back there, you could like Vikings, there's the Celts, you know, Saxons, Normans, the Romans, Byzantines, the Ottomans.
There's kind of a lot.
Might be it's not the Huns.
I mean, the Huns are really cool.
You could go Native America. You could go like there's a lot. There's probably a lot in Africa, but we don't have a lot of written history from the time, so it's very difficult.
I think I like the idea of the Native Americans.
They're pretty awesome.
Just because they kind of lived like a nice ass life. You know? I really like the Australian Indigenous too.
Mm-hmm.
Boomerangs are cool.
They're awesome, and they
lived here for
as,
like 60,000 years or something.
Yeah, very like
at least from what we've proven, it's been at least 60,000 years that they've been here.
And they were so good at living off the land and stuff that their lives, they were nomadic mostly. Like
yeah, they didn't need to progress technologically because they'd already figured out a system.
they were fine.
They were doing well.
You know, like
Apparently there were like millions of them. They were like a whole civilization here, similar to the Amazon tribe.
That's mine.
Yeah, Amazon is pretty cool.
That's my favorite ancient people is the Aztecs. Yeah.
Fuck man, they were vibing so hard.
Their words are awesome. Quetzalcoatl, Chipacticata, like
I really liked the lakes, the floating gardens.
yeah, well that was awesome. Their farming techniques, they had aquaculture. They were farming in the water, which is
They
really
would build
unique.
islands in lakes and farm those islands.
Yep. It was really cool.
And rivers
you
and
know how I
stuff.
feel about water shit. I have a lot of fish tanks, you know, like
Oh yeah, you're
Love
doing
that.
a marine science course.
yeah, baby. It's going great. It's funny, we don't often state things as if we're like introducing ourselves to someone, but it is funny to go back over the facts about us, you know?
Yeah. And also, I'm fucking tired. We might have to end this.
Okay, we've reached the end, people.
Yeah, I think we've reached the end.
I'll cut this up later. We love you, fan.
Yeah, fan.